Good afternoon, YouTube. I've got a lantern cleaning tip for you. Excuse the pun. Anyway, people that have worked on lanterns before know the proverbial filthy lantern generator. A lot of people just replace them, but a lot of people rebuild them like I do. The very tip, you just basically unseat and set that out of the way. I soak that in carb cleaner while I'm doing this. And what you have inside here is you've got this rod, and this rod actually has a really fine cleaning tip on there. You see that? And that's what goes through the eccentric block. This guy right here, you can see this, like when you use this clean out right here, that's raising and lowering that block. So there's it is high, there it is low, right? So that's raising this guy up and down in the generator, and it's cleaning that tip that we just put in the carb cleaner. So let's set that off the side because that's really not where I'm going with this. To clean these, you'll see on YouTube, you'll heat this up with a torch, put it in some vinegar or whatever your choosing is, and quench it. Heat it up again, quench it. What you're doing is you're heating up and burning away all that carbon that's inside here, and you're trying to loosen up this spring. There's a spring in here. It's thin, small and thin on one end, and then it gets fatter towards the tip. Okay, and then there's a paper sleeve that goes over the tip here. You want to get that out. You want to clean it. Then you want to clean inside here. Well, it is a booger to get this out. So I've got a couple tips for you. This is a small punch. Get it? I'm gonna go ahead and take my scrap piece. This is how small the small end of the generator, and I just put it's like an Allen wrench on the end, and I just put a rough grind, just made it slightly tapered, and don't polish it or put it on your wheel, leave it rough. You actually will put this in here, and you can actually screw this in about 3 screw lengths, and then you can actually get a hold of this spring and start working it up and down inside the tube, right? But over time, I mean, sometimes it just won't come out. There's just nothing you can do. I've quenched and heated a many number of times. The best thing that you can do is hopefully, well, if you've screwed up a generator before, or you've got one that is a throwaway, get that spring out and salvage the small end of that spring. And I'll tell you why. Because here is an example. So here's the one that we actually went and took the tip off. You take your end and you find your spring, and you just screw it into the spring far as down as it'll go, and then basically pull it on out. Now, of course, I've taken this one out, but you can just take my word for it. See how far down that spring went on the spring you're trying to pull out? Look at that, I got that little filter out too. And then once you get it out, you just unscrew and put that in your toolbox. Put that old one back in your toolbox for the next time. And here's a look at the spring that came out of the generator, and then here's that little paper tube. What happens is this paper tube gets all mushy and carbon, and basically it jams. It keeps this fat end from wanting to come out of the generator. I don't care how many times you quench and heat and quench and heat. That little piece of wire is your buddy. All right, thanks, and I hope people use this tip. It really works for me. I hope it works for you. Have a good day.